Okay, so welcome class. So we are going to start our new again class today for MA Political Science. So I want to welcome you all to Matatir Blossum Open University, Tripura. This is Master of Political Science, second semester. Uh, this course name, what we are going to discuss now, is the most modern Western political thought. Course code is PLM 6211. First paper, among as you have the five papers in your MA Political Science second semester this year. First paper we are going to have today the fourth session of personal contact program, which we have been conducting throughout previous weeks, previous weekends. So I'm your faculty, Panto Devarma, assistant professor, and this is my contact. If you have any email, if you have any doubt, queries, you can email me there, or if you want to call it, you can call me also in the number during the office hour. So let us start today's session. So, what we're going to discuss today, I'm sure you all must have received the soft copy of the SLM which have been sent to you all. And there, what we are doing in the class is basically since the beginning we are having a class and discussion on the SLM or the book self-learning materials we have been provided to you. We are having class on that book. So today, what we are going to discuss is the block 4 from the book. So every block contains units. You all will know that. And last class we did block 3. What did we discuss in the block 3 was about economic determinism, class struggle to communism, and Lenin's communist state via party vanguard evolution. So Karl Marx, basically last month we discussed about how the economic, according to Karl Marx and Marxism ideology, their group of school of thought, according to them, the economics is the base. In a building we have a foundation. So same like that, according to them, the foundation of our society, the whole world is that. What is the foundation? It is the economic. That means everything that is related to economic and business, they are controlling the other part, like the superstructure, are like the religion or education or any other social structure are all part of that base. Okay, so that is what it means, economic determinism. Then last class we also discussed about class struggle. That Marxism group of thought, they always advocate, they always say that there is a class struggle in our society. There is the haves and the have-nots. There is always the rich class is always trying to exploit the poor class. So accordingly, their struggle continues to happen. It continues to evolve since the ancient time, since the primitive age. There have been this class conflict. Like first, it was the feudal lords and the serfs. You know that, right? Feudal during the feudal age, there was feudal lords and sort of servants. So that system was there. And in today's world, what we see, the capitalist class and the working class. So the owner, the big business tycoons, they are ruling the society, and basically those who are the poor class, they have to work under them and they are exploited according to Karl Marx. Those who are rich, they are enjoying and they are controlling the whole society. In fact, you can say that economics control politics is a part of their ideology. So Lenin is also a great thinker. He is from Russia. He talked about communist state, party vanguard and revolution. Same, he talked about when all the proletariat or the working class will come together and they will have a revolution against the system, and finally the Lenin dream and the Marxist dream about having a communist state, communism, just like here. Communism means stateless, classless society where everybody is a worker. It is basically an egalitarian society where everybody is equal. Nobody is rich, nobody is poor, nobody is the owner, nobody is the worker, everybody is working. Okay. So that kind of society they want to bring. Equal society is not. Who doesn't want an equal society? Nowadays, if you just look around, you may find, there is some inequality. The rich people are getting rich and the poor people are getting poor. They are not able to cope up, they are not able to reach that level. So to actually to point out that issue, the Marxist group are always critical and they always say that the poor people should be benefited. Why should they always suffer? So they are always in support of the working class. We should remember that. So there is about Block-3 what we discussed in the last class. Today we are discussing unit 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. So unit 16, 17 is about Lasky. Okay, he's a great thinker also. About pluralism, state as a group coordinator. So pluralism means there will be different types of people, is it not? So in general life, what we see is that one human and another human are always not the same. You and I cannot be the same. That's what I believe. So here also what last we talk about is that in a society also there should be different type of organization, different type of group and different types of characterization. That means different type of group, basically trade union, political party, what else? What else groups are there? NGO or any organization of that matter, maybe a cricket association also, maybe a self-help group. This is just basic example. Different groups are there. We always see in a society. So that is what last we was talking about. That pluralism is an important factor. That means we need to have different characterization and different groups in our society, so that the state means the government or the state work is to coordinate the groups, how to have a balance and society, how to maintain the relationship between the groups, and how to formulate the groups and make some policies for the groups. In 19, we will be talking about Hannah Arendt, public action versus totalitarianism. Okay, she was basically against totalitarianism. You know, totalitarianism is a very important concept in political science. Okay, if you are a student and learn about political science, you should be aware and known about this matter. Totalitarianism means when there is a majority or where there is a dominance, where there is no freedom. Okay, so she was against it. In unit 20, we'll discuss strong feminism, equal education rights. So, basically, Mary Wollstonecraft will talk about the female, what is that? Protection and then education and rights, empowering the female. So that's what it is about feminism. So these are the topics of discussion. Then we have for today's session. So let us go. So lastly, if you can see the picture here, he was born in 19th century in 1893 and he died eventually in 1950. So 1950 is not so long back. He was from British, as I told, pluralist, because pluralist means singular plural. I think you must have run your grammar there when you were at school. So pluralist basically many things he likes. If he said that if there should not be a singular type of thing or singular characterization of group in society, we should have different group and different setting. Marxist leaning, so he was kind of little bit Marxist type. Okay, these were in support of the Marxist ideology. He was a professor there and he was a labor activist. That means he was supporting the labor people. It's enough. Obviously, if you see the labor are always suffering, they have to work in the sun, in the rain. So that is why they have been always in our political science discourse. What is there is that political science is something is always trying to help somebody gain their rights, somebody to make things right. There will be always a discussion to make things better. That is what all have been in politics or political science is something. So here also what these people are trying to do is they are trying to help the laborer to achieve their human right or to achieve their rights, that they get a welfare, they get a standard of living. So there is a thing. He works one of the books written is Grammar of Politics and Authority in Modern State. Okay. So these books are very much important because if you are giving any competitive exam for political science or basically any these things are very important. The books, you have to remember that. So there is a kind of a suggestion to all those who are there. You should try to remember the name of the books. Lastly, what book he have written is Grammar of Politics, Authority in Modern State. Okay, so these two. So context is that what happened during his time. Okay, so during World War I crisis was there, rise of fascism was there, state power unchecked. World War I, we all know it started when? I think in 1914 and it ended in 1919. So during that time, fascism means when a country is trying to aggressive foreign policy. She's trying to extend their territory by aggressing and invading other territory. Fascism is totally dominance. Like one group is totally trying to dominate every other thing. So that is called fascism. So during that time he was there, and state power unchecked. Here, state power was unlimited. Nowadays, you can even see that you can give case against the government. Okay, if you go to the high court, if you go to the supreme court, you will see people are registering case against the government that government has not implemented this policy, government has not given this welfare system, government has not implemented it, so that you can fight against the government in the court. But that time there was no such provision to check the government. So that is what it means. Power dispersed, no single sovereign monopoly was there. Okay, so idea was that during that time power was dispersed, no sovereign monopoly was there. In that time, power was very much dispersed. So we call it a multipolar world also. So that is about the Lasky's introduction. Okay, from where he is, what kind of books he has written, and in what age he was born. So there has been always this discussion that whoever writer, okay, or whoever the thinker or philosopher, they have been always impacted by the situation, society situation during that time when they were born. They have been always influenced by that thing. Okay. So lastly, state concept. What is the state concept? He talk about progress state, no absolute sovereign. So again here, as I said, progress means different groups will be there, like unions, guild, churches, not wars. So there should not be a single powerful thing. Like even today, who is the most powerful in the state means we always talk about the government. So but he was not like that. Yes, government should be there, state should be there, but he should not be the absolute sovereign. Who should and how should it function? If there is nobody as absolute sovereign, then how should the state function? So here, if you see, he's talking about the state role is to coordinate a group, union, guilds, and churches, not boss. Okay, so there will be different group. Like church will be there, trade union, okay, farmer union is there, tribal union is there, student union is there, so these things unions will be there. These are important. Guilds also, guilds means basically in the market also, there will be market union. These are from the market committee. They try to control and maximize the price structure of this, what will be sold in the market. And churches also, obviously, we all know these are related to religion. So different groups will be there. There should not be a final boss. That is according to Lasky. Okay. Reject monastic view examples Hobbes Leviathan. Okay, so he did not like that one person is becoming the unlimited powerful concept. So would you like it tomorrow if somebody become the most powerful person in your area and he start controlling your life? He tells you to sleep at 9 p.m. You have to sleep. He tells you to sleep at 5 a.m. You have to wake up at 5. So you have to do it. So there is somehow controlling it's going to be. So he did not like it. He said that there should be a different power center or different organization, different character of people and groups in the society, okay, or in the political setup. So this because Hobbes Leviathan, Thomas Hobbes is a very important character in political science. He wrote, his book was there, Leviathan book, in where he wrote that about absolute sovereignty, that one person is becoming the most powerful. He supported that because he said that humans are sometimes they are motivated by fear. Unless you make the humans fear, he will not obey you. So that's what his idea was, that through Leviathan, through a very powerful ruler, you can actually control the society. But he rejected that idea. Monistic means one, a single powerful person. So he did not like that idea, so he rejected Thomas Hobbes. You will always see, okay, in our academic discussion of this subject discipline, there is always a, criticism and answers. So see, when Thomas Hobbes wrote his theory, he was fully confident and many people supported it. But eventually, he had to face criticism from Lasky. So you should understand that Lasky is also going to eventually face that criticism. So what we can learn from here is that criticism is a natural process of living. Okay. So dual role, what role did he play was see as a state, what is the role? Welfare provider plus potential oppressor. Government will give you facility of electricity, water, road and transport, food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, education. How much they can give you, they'll give you. There's a welfare provider. But what is there? He can also sometimes oppress you. Sometimes very good example is the Article 19 in our Indian Constitution. Article 19, if you know, there is a right to freedom of speech and expression. We humans, generally we want to express ourselves. Sometimes we criticize the government, we criticize people, and we give comments, maybe critical ones. So sometimes what happens is that you can see sometimes when people give comments and this and that against this person or that policy, they have been jailed or they have to face several consequences of that speech. So there is a potential. State can also oppress you. State can also push you down. So state has two roles according to Lasky. He can give you facility or he can also oppress you. That means he can control you and make you suffer in that sense. So what is the benefit of rural state according to them? Example is a trade union check capitalist state power. So trade union are example. Those who are businessmen, they always have this group so that trade. Okay, so that the government doesn't become powerful and they can actually influence the policy of the government. So very important to remember. So trade unions are important because they check that the state power doesn't become unlimited. So these are the things about Lasky state. What is the role of the state and what kind of state should be there according to Lasky. So unit 19. Unit 17 now. So state and individual. What is the role between the state and individual, or what is the relationship between the state and the individual? Let us see. Individual shapes state via active citizenship beyond voting. Okay, so now think, according to Lasky, what do we normally do here? As what I see is that we just go and vote. Normally, individuals are, those who are politicians, they are working in politics, but those who are normal citizens, we just go and vote and we think that is our role is over there. But no, according to Lasky, state should be more active citizen than just voting. We should not just vote. We should raise the voice. We should criticize. We should actively participate and engage in the politics. That is how the real growth of politics will happen, and that is how Lasky tend to advocate for the individual relationship between the state. So state enables self-regulation but needs legal check. So what is the role of the state? Is another role of the state is that state help you to realize your role, realize yourself, realize your potential by giving you education, by giving you welfare, sport, reservation, and many other things, healthcare. It helps you in your growth. So in human, we have lots of potential. When you are born, you don't know whether you are going to become an astronaut, or whether you are going to become a scientist, or you are going to become an engineer, or doctor, or a teacher, or a sport person. You don't know. But when the state gives you opportunity through education, through reservation, it helps you to transport. So by that process, you can self-realize yourself. What is your potential and what is your role in the society. So, but what Lasky is saying that yes, there is a very helpful element. It helps people in realizing themselves. But we also need to have some legal check on the state so that the state doesn't become all powerful and try to control every sphere of our life. So basically, the motto in a political science has always been that the state should not become an unlimited powerful thing, and the individual should have some checks and balances on the state also. It is not that the state should be able to do whatever he wants with the people. No, the people also should have the power so that they can retaliate if there is a requirement against the state also. So rights and duties are important participate to prevent allied capture. So yes, we have rights, we have duties. If you are in our country, India, we have fundamental rights and fundamental duties. That is part 3 fundamental rights from Article 14 to 32 and part 4A fundamental duties, which are very important. I would like to request you all to read them. Very important. Obviously, this part of your syllabus in other paper, but still, I would like to today, as your homework or as your work today, I like you to go and revise and learn about the rights and duties that we have as a citizen of India. And if you follow these rights and duties, you are actively participating here. So, as I said, when I discussed this point number one, he was telling that citizens should be actively participating, not just voting. Okay? So, from here we can learn that what we should do beyond voting is that we should, always take our rights. Rights is what belongs to us. Rights to equality, rights to freedom, rights against exploitation, right to freedom of religion. These rights we should exercise. We should have it. We should apply it. Then only you are active participant. Duties as a duty of India, we need to respect our national anthem. We need to preserve our heritage culture. We need to respect our national flag. Okay, so these are all part of our duties. So when common men participate in politics, what will happen is that it will prevent this elite class who may capture the power structure. So what he is suggesting here is that all the common men should be actively participants so that the power should not be captured always by the elite class, and they will try to rule the poor class again and again through that structure. So example is the informed voter hold MPs accountable. So yes, how can you be active participant is that you can be an informed voter. Okay, while voting, you should be aware of who you are voting and who is the member of parliament, his president, to know about his background and know about his capabilities. So here, just an example is that if you see the image here, there is a try to balance. Okay, so the government should not be too much high, or the people also should not be too much down, and vice versa. So there should be a balance between the government and the state and the individual. So again, last we talk about democracy and economy. So what does it talk about democracy? Is active democracy plus economic critique. Democracy participation in guild socialism, worker control factories. So again, he's talking about groupism. So there is a factory everywhere. You will see factory everywhere. So in a factory, there is always a union. You will see. So whenever there is an issue, whenever they want, where there is an inflation, for an example, so that what the union will do, what the group will do is they will protest. You will always see they give, sometimes they lock the factory and they protest. You have seen. So when worker does that, their demand can be fulfilled. Like maybe their demand when they rise of payment, raise in their payment structure. So this is how they control the factory. So this is an important of participation. Economic power, rival state, capitalism creates inequality. Okay, so same thing, capitalism creates inequality means capitalist system which we have now, which is free market, free economy, free competition, and private property. These things are always going to create inequality in our society according to Lasky also. State intervenes for the distribution welfare. So state, what is the role of the state? Again, he's saying that state role is to bring justice. Justice basically means fairness, to be treated fairly, whoever it is. To be treated what they deserve. So that is what justice means. So I want to last is states rules also to bring justice, to redistribute. What is redistribute is that you collect the tax. Obviously, everybody is paying tax to the government. So after collecting the tax, you distribute between the poor people. So those who are rich people, more tax will be collected and the money will be distributed so that everybody has equal opportunity, equality in our society. Welfare means basically again to provide food, clothing, healthcare, education to the people. That is the welfare role of the government. So example again, labor union negotiate ways to versus state law. So again, as I said, whenever there is a requirement, those who are the labor, those who are union, those who are working people, they always come together and they demand and they negotiate. Again, the state laws also they have the right to see. Sometimes you will see that those are the farmer from Punjab, they march with the tractors to the Delhi. You have seen, I think, there have been a multiple occasion of that fact. So why is that? So they are always trying to challenge the government policy, like government on MSP or minimum support price. These things are always continuous and it goes on. It is part of the political process. So Unit 18 critique what criticism is. As I said, nobody is free from criticism. They are bound to get criticism. Strength is challenges and state also prevents tyranny. So he did not support that the state is becoming too powerful and controlling everything. So he wanted the power distribution among the groups. Engagement, rights protection. So again, he wanted people to be actively participate as an active citizen, not just voter. So we have to, our rights should be protected. Inequality, he does not like equality. He wants to bring equality, means everybody should be given equal opportunity to develop themselves, to realize their self and self potential via groups and economics. Modern relevance in modern society, what does we have? Federalism, NGO versus central power. So in modern society, there is always a conflict about federalism, who is having more power, whether the central government has more power or the state government has more power. There is a power conflict, and NGO groups are there. So versus the central power, there is always going to be a conflict. So this you can see in real life also. And limitation, what are the issues? All organization mobilization, real, apathy, real. So he was very much over optimistic, and he was very much too much thinking about that citizens will participate so actively. But in reality, we have not seen that. So there is a question over optimistic. But in reality, it was not able to happen that citizens are actually actively participating. We cannot see that in data real life. The things families too many group and chaos. So again, last case always talk about pluralism. So what a risks come with pluralism is that when there is too many group, there will be too many problem and chaos. So there is a one example of that thing, that his pluralism might be having that kind of a problem. Socialism may expand state power ironically, weak union in neoliberal era. So when he's trying to create that communism society or socialist state, what he's saying is that the state might become more powerful. Actually, what Lasky was talking about in the beginning was that not to empower the state, is not try to balance between the individual and the state. But when you turn into socialist kind of Marxist idea, they always talk about a state control everything, state control property, state control economy. So when you see the socialist, it's actually making the state more powerful. So there is a part of criticism he is facing. So an example for his limitation is that weak union in today's world. What we see is that the union are not able to become too much powerful, and their voice has not been heard too much. So there is some limitation and problems that might come along with the Lasky's ideas. Okay. So next we turn to unit 19. That is Hannah Arendt. Okay. So she was born in 1906 and she died in 1975. He was a German Jewish thinker. Okay, fled Nazis. Okay, very important. The origins of totalitarianism. So, obviously, we all know during the World War II, the Nazis, they were actually against the Jewish people. They were involved in that thing. So, she can, you can say, one of the victim or that fact that she had to fled, she had to flee, she had to run from the Nazis. So, origin of totalitarianism, her book or her work, what did she work out? She worked on this totalitarianism. Totalitarianism means when one power is controlling everything. Okay, the other people are not able to come out. So that is totalitarianism, which will be discussed. Themes: what kind of ideas did she bring? Evil, banality, public versus private life. Okay. So what is the evil and what is public and what is private life? We are going to discuss. A modern critique: mass society erodes politics. So she was also against this modernism concept, and she says that mass society erodes politics. This society, which we have different society, different grouping, they always restructure or they erase the presence of politics. So there is a thing. Human condition also see what labor, survival, work tools, and action politics. So these are just some example and differences that laborers are working for survival. For works, you need tools, and politics, you need to take action. So these are just difference from one another. Excuse me. So let us start. So before we start this one, let us just have a quick look at the video of what is totalitarianism. Okay? So let us see the video. So actually, that was about the totalitarianism. So Hannah Arendt, obviously, she didn't like totalitarianism. As discussed in the video, totalitarianism is basically when in a country, a person or a group, okay, or a single political party, they become the most powerful and they rule every other group. So every other opposition are suppressed; they cannot come up. So one person or one group is the most powerful. So that is the idea of pluralism. So then Aden still next, let us see what did she talk about state and action, power via public action. So freedom in public realm, debate, plurality, not isolation. So she talk about is that in society, in public space, what should be is that there should be debate and there should be plurality. So just like what Lasky talk about. Public space, in a public space there should be debate, discussion and plurality, not isolation. There should not be a one correct one person or one item. So there should be different item, same idea as the last key. State is a space for natality, new beginnings. So there should be an encouragement and innovation for new beginnings. Okay, so we should we should be able to support and help the people to start new things and to innovate new things. So this is one more idea. It will be ideology and terror destroy action. So again, totalitarianism means she doesn't support this idea when one party, just like example it was given Nazi under Hitler and Stalin in USSR and this Kim Jong Un or Kim dynasty in North Korea. They are totalitarianism. That means they are the most powerful and they don't have any opposition. So she does not like that. So she doesn't like this overpower element. Example, Hickman trial evil from thoughtlessness. So this is just an example for reference. So that is about the Hannah Arendt and what was her idea about these things. Okay, basics. So now let us see the Mary Wollstonecraft, Unit 20. So she was born in 1759 and she died in 1797. So she is from actually 18th century. Very important thinker of feminism when women's right, Mary Wollstonecraft. You should remember her name and she is going to be very much helpful. Okay, if you learn about her. So her book, Vindication of Rights of Women, was written by her, and she critiqued women as ornaments, not rationals. Sometimes there can be a statement or a stigma in society or a comment and some observation from people that women are ornaments, something they wear, something, an element or a thing. So they are assumed sometimes by some people as per this that they are not rational. So this idea she did not like it. She was against it. Equal education for virtue and citizenship. So she was supporting for equal education and citizenship. So you can see the Wollstonecraft picture here. Context, enlightenment, but gender blind. So during her time, there is a concept of Renaissance or enlightenment in the European countries. So she was saying that yes, you are saying that people have been enlightened. We have come to a big achievement of achieving this rationality and logical discussion in our public discourse. But where is the gender blindness? You are still discriminating the gender wise. That the women are not given the opportunity as the men are getting. So this is the idea of Mary Wollstonecraft, which we'll be discussing when this is his introduction. So her vision was that stand for gender equality, state duty, education women for moral independence. So according to her, we should educate women for moral independence so that they have an independence of mind of themselves, so that they don't have to be always taught by somebody else, so that they can have their own idea, they can have their own judgment rationally of what is good and what is bad. And during that time, it was her idea that we should educate women. Liberty, virtue, by a reason, not dependent. So liberty, true freedom means true reason, which I also genuinely believe. If you want liberty, if you want freedom in your life, you should have rationality and reason. You should not be dependent on somebody else's logic to come to a conclusion. You should be able to take your own decision and discussion, and through self-analysis, through logical analysis, and that is your true freedom when you have own reasoning, okay, without having to dependent on somebody else's analytics to have a decision to come to a conclusion. So marriage reform also she talk about a partnership, not subjection, relationship. Marriage should not be that somebody has to listen to somebody. It is a partnership. We are a partner. When you get married, one person should not say that I am the dominant, I am controlling this, I am controlling that, you are doing this, I am doing that, but it is a partnership, a teamwork. Marriage is a teamwork. Remember that. Republican role, women as citizen, not just mother. So we should also understand in a democratic world, when everybody is given freedom of choice of election and getting elected, we should understand that women are citizens also, just like their counterpart male. So they are not just mothers. We should assume that women are just bound to be mothers or born babies. No, women are also citizens just like everybody else. And this is some very, very important ideas that to educate women, and the importance of religion in any human life. And the marriage is should be seen as a partnership and not just subjection, not to be under somebody's control. And women is to be seen as real citizens and not just as mothers can take. So these are some very basic ideas which we have discussed in today's class. So we first talk about Lasky's pluralism disperses power, state coordinates not dominates. So pluralism, Lasky always talk about it. His main idea was that there should be a different group of people, different organization, trade union, society, churches, all these groups should be there obviously, and the state should control the groups. Okay, so that is how the state is going to be more vibrant, and it is going to be develop further. As I said, political science as a subject is a subject known, is always seen. If you read any theory or any idea, the main idea was to always take society in a better state. We are always trying to develop our state, develop our society. So Lasky was trying to say that if you want to make your society better, you should adopt this idea of pluralism. That means also an acceptance of different characterization of different groups and different people in the society. So the role of the state is to coordinate, not dominate. We should coordinate is basically as somebody who is going to have a coordination, not just controlling, domination, and what is that? It should not be controlling, it should not be dominating, it should be coordination. Is basically through discussion and logical conclusion. And Arendt talk about politics. True politics is population plurality against totalitarianism. So if you say politics, it means if you want to judge whether politics is good or bad, you should check upon their action. If the action is good, then the politics is good. So there is a way of judging the politics. And she talk about plurality against totalitarianism. Totalitarianism is that one group becoming the most powerful and destroying all the other enemies. She did not like that. She supported plurality. That means different kind of characters of groups of people should be there in the society. So there is also important factor which we have discussed today. Wollstonecraft, very important feminist. She talk about state must enable rational equality for women and citizens. She should say educate the women. We should understand that women are capable and they are rational, not just mothers. We should not treat women as just mothers, but they are also citizens. They are active. They can work and think and act like the male also. So there is the Wollstonecraft idea. So these three we have discussed today. Very important. Today's most discussion was about pluralism and how to empower the women. So let us work together on this so that our society can grow better, because these are all very important theories which we have been discussing in modern Western political thought. So basically today is the lecture when we have ended our whole modern Western political thought ideas. In the coming lecture, actually, we are going to have a revision. 2 more sessions we are having. First session we will be having revision on Block 1 and Block 2. Second session we will be having revision on Block 3 and Block 4. That's how we are going to end up this session of this second semester. So overall, what we have learned is that balance state authority with active individual group or just society. So what we have to do is that we should not let the state become too much powerful, and we should balance the power of the state, and all the citizens have to be active, and that is how the society can be perfect. States will become more powerful and people should be actively participate. That is how society will be perfect. Remember this mantra or remember this statement. States will become more powerful and the individual people's group should be active participant. That is how we are going to have a good society. So these thinkers remind our power and sex leads to inequality and gets actively. So again, this is the mantra, this is the quote we have to learn. Power and sex, we have to check the power of the government, because if we don't check the power, it is going to bring inequality, and we should be actively engaging as a citizen. So this thing we have learned today, Lasky, Arendt, Wollstonecraft, and about the importance of pluralism and groups, and the importance of unchecked power and the inequality issue in our society. So thank you for joining. See, today there is 2 questions to solve. If you have any question, I'll be happy to answer. If not, see what is the Lasky pluralist state means. Lasky basically talk about different group and different organizations existing in the society, like example trade union or guild system or churches, which are to be coordinated by the state. Basically, according to Lasky, state role is to coordinate the different groups and different characters of group and people, not to dominate it, and that is how society is going to be stronger and more developed. Public action means ardent talk about the importance of public action. Whenever there is a politics, there should be a public action. Without public action, we cannot judge a politics whether it is functioning well or not. So that is an ardent idea. So I want to thank you all for joining today's session, and I will have a session again after 30 minutes. We have another class. So I want you all to join again. So thank you. See you in the next class.